On this edition of Independent Sources, South Bronx Startup, the effort to make the neighborhood the next big thing in the tech sector.
I think for us, it's an exciting project that allows us to give people in the community an opportunity to obtain really good paying careers.
And Moving Day, a 10-year plan to provide affordable housing for artists in East Harlem finally bears fruit.
This is a whole community moving for something with an ideal. And the base of it is creativity.
Those stories and more coming up on Independent Sources. Welcome to Independent Sources, bringing you news from New York's ethnic and immigrant communities. I'm Zyphus LeBron. The South Bronx is one of the poorest congressional districts in the United States, and that might make it the last place you would think someone would want to start a tech initiative. But recent advancements are changing that. Startups are now making Port Morris their new headquarters and hiring local residents. Sarah Pizon spoke with Plinio Ayala, president and CEO of Perscolis, an IT job training institute, and Keith Klain, co-CEO of Dorian Jones, a software development consulting startup.
Plinio, Keith, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
So, Plinio, can you tell us about your organization's mission?
Sure. So we've been around for 20 years in the South Bronx. That's sort of where our headquarters is located. And it was designed to try and prove that you can train people from communities like the South Bronx and have them be successful as IT professionals. So the whole mission is to create an effective workforce development strategy that can lead to expansion in other communities and have a huge impact.
And so what kind of training are you providing?
So it was all intentional around IT. We realized early on that IT, in many ways, allowed people to create career pathways in a relatively short period of time where they can earn livable wages. And so we've been very successful in getting people placed in jobs after they complete the training. But I think our approach is a little different. We work with employers as sort of our primary customer to understand what their needs are, and we design all of our training programs around those needs.
Great, and that's where you come in, right, Keith?
That is right.
So can you tell us a little bit about what is exactly Dorian Jones?
Sure. So Dorian Jones is a technology consulting company that was founded in 2010 with my business partner, Matt Dorian. And we basically build and test software for a lot of large enterprise IT operations, so banks, financial services company, telcos, media. And we got involved with Perscolis through I was working at Barclays at the time and got involved through them with the training program we developed around software testing. And then I ended up leaving Barclays because the program was so successful to join Dorian Jones to start up part of the testing business and build out the facility in the Bronx.
Great. So you are currently relocating from Manhattan to the South Bronx?
We are, yes.
Tell us why.
We are. Well, one, we think, and I like the Perscolis model around you meet people where they are, and we think that it's really important for us, one, to be in the Bronx. So we're moving, yes, from our Manhattan offices, and we're a bit homeless right now that we've moved. We're waiting for the facility to finish. We're weeks away, but we're actually moving to the Bronx from there because, one, there's a great sense of community there, and a lot of what we're doing with the Urban Development Center is community-oriented. So being there every day and working with the folks who live in the neighborhood is super important to us.
Plinio, maybe you can tell us more also about this Urban Development Center. What's this collaboration about?
It's the perfect economic development project. It's an opportunity for a not-for-profit like Perscolis to partner with Keith and Dorian Jones to create jobs in that community. And what I think Keith has realized is that we can develop the talent locally that he can consume and be successful with his company. And so I think for us, it's an exciting project that allows us to give people in the community an opportunity to obtain really good paying careers.
Wow.
I think that that's a really important point as well, is that I've worked all over the planet in IT, working for large financial services organizations, and having finally relocated back to New York, there is a really rich source of talent in the Bronx that we consistently hear back from the students who graduate from the program would have never been given an opportunity at jobs like these. And I've found that the people that have come through the program and the training that they get are just as good as anybody who I've worked with in India, Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, any of the places that traditionally get a lot of offshored testing and development work. and the great sense of entrepreneurship and kind of do-it-yourselfism and all the other great things that come with really talented technology folks are there, and it's just been really overlooked for a long time.
So tell us, because you're going to get some alums, right, from tech. Do you have any number specifics?
Absolutely. So go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, so we'll graduate 120 people from our training program, and Keith will hire 120 graduates.
Wow.
It's fantastic when you think about what that will do to the community, 120 people that are now earning significant wages. It's just going to transform that area completely.
And what we've committed to is that in the facility itself, when it's up and running, is that 80% of the people that will be hired into the facility will have come through the Perscolis program. So we've set a target for how many folks we think should come through, and then however Perscolis needs to get there to bring them through the program is how this partnership works.
So what kind of training skill, what kind of skill set are they going to be bringing exactly? Can you be a little bit more specific? We know it's IT, but what exactly are they going to be doing?
So there's Plenty can talk about the kind of generic training program that they get, because there's some kind of basic blocking and tackling type of training they get in technology from Perscolis. The software testing education program is the training curriculum specifically I designed when at Barclays to teach people how to test software. So that's a big growth market. It's heavily outsourced. We're carving pieces of that market away to reshore back to the U.S. And so we're teaching people how to test software, break down systems, automate some of the testing that they're doing. And it's a huge opportunity for them to get a ground level entry into a long technology career.
Wow, that's fantastic. So Plinio, how do you see this collaboration affecting the community?
Well, I think I'm so bullish about it because it really does contemplate the way we do business in the South Bronx. You've got individuals that will be able to establish very good paying careers, and I think the ancillary job growth will be huge. And so you have 100 and what will be 150 in total, right, people in this urban development center. They're going to demand good eateries. They're going to demand the laundromat to open up across the street. That's going to create additional jobs for that community. So the economic development impact, I think, potentially could be huge as a result of this project.
And particularly in the area where we're at, we're already seeing interest from other startups wanting to relocate, sublease space. Part of the things, some of the activities we're going to do in the first floor of the Urban Development Center are very community oriented in nature. So we're going to be hosting tech meetups. We're going to be doing hackathons, getting people exposure to different aspects. We're negotiating with a company right now to do a product launch in the second quarter in this space. We're partnering with the local high school to give some training to the high school, to the high school, also the middle school. So there's a whole other aspect to this to make the South Bronx really attractive as kind of the next startup alley in New York.
That was going to be my next question. Is the South Bronx the new Silicon Alley? Yeah.
It could be a tremendous technology corridor for sure, and it's so close to Manhattan that it could provide services right into Harlem, the entire borough of the Bronx. That's very encouraging and very exciting as Dorian Jones sort of is the seed to what could be significant penetration of other technology companies coming to the South Bronx over time.
Is the city playing any part in this at all?
The city and the state have both been supportive. We've worked through the Empire State Development Fund. They've given us some tax incentives for the Phase 2. Phase 1 is pretty much funded through the Perscolis grants and other ways that they fundraise. But there's incentives for us for Phase 2 to continue to grow that. That's the additional 300 jobs. The city's been very supportive through Digital NYC coming out. They just did a meetup out there, which some folks have heard about. So yeah, they've been very supportive in terms of exposure and getting us access to resources and stuff like that.
Great. Well, we wish you guys luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today.
It's our pleasure. Thank you for having us.